As the assault on Rivers of America continues down at Frontierland in the Magic Kingdom, an icon of the parks is being refurbished for what could be the last time, probably. Let's talk about the Liberty Square Riverboat here on That Park Place. Hello, I am Jonas J. Campbell, an investigative reporter for That Park Place, and here with me is my Wiki co-pilot, Mr. VashSky. Vash, are you doing all right today?
You know, Jonas, I have been better. I've been lamenting the fact that Rivers of America at the Magic Kingdom might be going away forever. And when we were discussing this show, my heart sank, knowing the inevitable repercussions that may come from this decision.
That's right. And we have heard some rumors that they might be backtracking a little bit based on the backlash. And with that, this is a video you might consider liking, might consider sharing out your thoughts on the entire situation. Usually we wait to do that kind of push here towards the end of the video. But maybe if this is an issue that is important to you, you might want to share this one out. The Liberty Square Riverboat closed for likely final refurbishment at Magic Kingdom. We were aware of this happening here. They do actually have boilers inside of these things at the parks. Blog Mickey is covering it, and we are thankful that they are. This by Mike. The Liberty Square Riverboat is currently closed at Magic Kingdom, likely for its final refurbishment before the attraction is removed permanently sometime next year. The Liberty Belle steamboat typically is taken to the Bay Lake dry dock for work, which involves assistance as the boat is a track-driven vehicle when in the rivers of America. Does this thing not have steering capability? That is fascinating. These are the tugs and assistance vehicles that they often bring in.
This is why people have been saying, oh, well, you can just make it a ferry, or you can just add it to the watercraft that are already there at Walt Disney World. Not so fast. It really is not designed to be separated from its track. So you either have to add steering, which is impossible, basically, or add a track to wherever it's going to circuit. And I just don't see the Walt Disney Company doing that.
Yep, I don't see them putting money into something beautiful anymore. The work will wrap up on Thursday, and the boat is currently scheduled to reopen on Friday, August 23rd. This will probably be the last refurbishment for the vehicle until it is retired from service at the Magic Kingdom. Once construction of a Cars-themed area kicks off next year. Ka-chow, folks, ka-chow. We're getting Lightning McQueen, that up-to-date IP right there, the one about all the race cars. You're getting that. We're replacing one of the most beautiful sections of the park with cars. I don't hate cars. I'm going to say it is not a shining example of what Pixar can do. It is a shining example of a well-merchandised IP. Okay, Radiator Springs out there at Disneyland is a great theme park land. John Lasseter even worked on that theme park land out there. It's great, but if we're given the choice between something that ties together the park, puts in the forced perspective of making you think that you are traveling a long way from Haunted Mansion all the way to Frontierland, giving the illusion of that park being even larger than it actually is, Rivers of America is crucial towards the beauty and ambiance of the entire section of the park there. It makes you think that you are living in a real place that happens to be Disney World, as opposed to a theme park construction, this is what it is. Rivers of America is a place that has to be drained and resealed every now and then, and Disney just doesn't want to do that at this point. Vash, did you know we have additional information that's not in this article?
Ooh, I did not know this, but please go ahead, share it with all of us so we can enjoy.
We also know that this refurbishment is taking longer than it has to because Disney doesn't know what they are doing with these people at this moment. I don't want to get too detailed here, but this is something that I see Disney dragging its feet a little bit here with the staff and with all of that. Obviously, the people who are being affected by a lot of these announcements have not been told where they're headed. There are attractions that are being closed down at like Disney's Animal Kingdom that people don't know where they're going next. That's the kind of thing that Disney, you need to get on that. You need to be giving some clear statements to your staff about where they are going, unless it's that Liberty Square Riverboat, the Liberty Belle here, is actually going to be sticking around for a lot longer than you're originally letting on. It would give me a little bit of hope there. Vash, have you been on any of the riverboats either here or at Disneyland?
Oh, absolutely. I've been on many, many watercraft from Disney over the years, particularly the Mark Twain over there at Disneyland. Obviously, the Columbia, the mighty Columbia. There's great stories attached to that and so forth. Great history attached to both those watercraft at Disneyland. I was this close to riding the Liberty Belle at Walt Disney World on my last visit. But man, those operations were very, very slow. We were all like, what are we waiting here for? And then it was like, well, we have a lightning lane reservation somewhere else, so we gotta go. And it was very, very unfortunate. I'm kicking myself for that, for sure. But there's a great history of watercraft at both Walt Disney World Resort and Disneyland, and also too at Disney parks worldwide. Obviously, you got a couple of watercraft hanging around there, Tokyo and Paris and so forth. It is awesome. It is great. It's what makes these parks these fantastical places that you have to really go and see, and keeps it unique and distinguishable from all the other theme parks around the world. And we've seen it copied at Freedom Land and so forth, and well, they didn't last long. But Walt Disney World's history of its Rivers of America watercraft is a bit sad. They got rid of the canoes, obviously, the canoes being one of those things, one of those kinetic energy type elements that culture talks about so much on our channels here. They used to have canoe races they would do, the cast members there. Unfortunately, those no more. The keel boats that used to be there, those are gone. And Jonas, did you know that in its early days, Magic Kingdom had not one, but two riverboats back in the day?
I did not know that. They're also just quite beautiful. The riverboats are something that you can enjoy, whether you are on them looking out at Walt Disney World, or if you're in the parks looking at them. They add so much just by their existence. And this is one of those things where Disney adds something that you really can't quantify. And just because you can't put a dollar amount on it doesn't mean it's not worthwhile to put it in the park. Forgive me if I rant here for just a moment. There's also a rumor that they're trying to get rid of Liberty Square, and with it, the Hall of Presidents here. Now, obviously, the Hall of Presidents, I can understand why they would want to back away from that, considering the divisive nature of politics in the United States these days. But I think if Disney were actually capable of being the storytellers that they like to try to say that they are on every single earnings call, they try to lie to investors and say that they are a company with a 100-year history of storytelling. What they really are is a company that has purchased a 100-year history of storytelling. If they were fully capable of constructing a narrative, they would not have the problems that they are having here. They could figure out a way to make the Hall of Presidents work. They could figure out a way to keep this in the park. They could figure out a way to make Frontierland the kind of thing that would bring people into the parks. But instead, what they do is, oh, no, what's the lowest hanging fruit here? What is the most popular IP according to data analytics? And we're going to stick that somewhere in these parks in order to make this work. I'm sorry. I'm sick of it at this point. They are lazy, and they are not the creatives they claim to be if they can't make this romantic to guests and give them something that keeps the old people who pay for all the trips to Disney World happy to bring their children to it. Because if they're just going by, oh, mom, dad, I want to go do this thing, guess what? Universal's got you beat. Universal's going to have you beat because they have all the other IP from all the other studios. Star Trek is coming to Universal Studios, and so is Dungeons and Dragons. And whether or not there is anything that comes to my mind that they could do with those as far as an attraction goes, Universal Creative has shown that they can take existing IP and make something great with it. Go look at Dark Universe. I was not that interested in a Universal Monsters Land. When they said they were going to do it, the pictures in my mind were not very good. But what they came up with, Dark Universe, has me excited not just to go into that land, to go into rides that I would not be interested in before. It makes me want to go out and get all the Universal Monsters movies on 4K. So, Disney, you can solve your own problems if you remove your thinking from wherever it is right now. Forgive me, Vash. That was a long rant.
No. I don't disagree with you. I really do think that this company has lost a lot of creative spark. Because when you take something as beautiful as the Liberty Belle and an authentic steam wheeler on a river in the middle of Florida, and you want to take that and you want to replace it with not just cars, Jonas, but distinct locations from planes, That is that's a choice. That is a choice that you are making right there. And when you think about this resort with the blessing of size, where you can put these things just about anywhere, we reviewed the permits, folks. We reviewed the buildable areas around Magic Kingdom and what they're setting aside for the future expansions. They can place this in so many different places. To replace Rivers of America, to do it in this way is just so tragic. And it follows a history of tragedy. Like I was saying before, Jonas, they used to have 2 paddle wheelers there on the Rivers of America, circumnavigating that circuit there. It was the Admiral Joe Fowler, and it was made sort of similar to the Mark Twain Riverboat out there at Disneyland. And unfortunately, it suffered from a horrible crane dry dock related accident and was unrecoverable, which is really, really sad. This was back in, I think, the 1970s. At that point there, just really tragic, and it's why we only have 1 there, and now we're going to have none coming up in the future. It's sad.
I'll just also point out that right now, Universal doesn't have anything beautiful in their theme parks, and this is something that Disney can do that Universal cannot do. This is a distinct difference that Universal cannot do. They can construct something neat. They can construct something maybe even wonderful. Celestial Park may change that. I don't know. That thing looks pretty neat. But looking at this right here, Disney has natural beauty in their parks. It may be the illusion of it being natural beauty, but they have something beautiful in their parks, and they're looking to take it away because they want to compete with theme park companies that they view as lesser than them. Well, maybe Disney, you need to be arrogant enough to say that you can do this. I'm frustrated, and I'm going to throw this to our commenters here. Forgive my ranting today. I have no time for this company today. Let us know your thoughts in the comment section down below. How far off am I? Or maybe I'm way off, and you need to reel me back in. Like this video, of course, if you like this video. Vash, do you have anything else you want to say?
Well, a couple of things I can add to this. One is people are saying, well, Walt didn't have any hand in Walt Disney World. Yeah, his influence was absolutely there. And going back to the very first incarnations of Disneyland, back when it was going to be in Burbank behind the studio lot and so forth, there was a river. There was a circumnavigable river, many times with paddle wheelers in place. And you can actually see the original intent for Disneyland. Actually, Herb Ryman did the first sketch, obviously, to sell the park to the bankers. And you can see not 1, but 2 paddle wheelers. And they were able to do that, at least for a short period, at Walt Disney World. And now we're stripping that all away, like you said, to compete with our amazing IP in cars and planes. Yeah. It is horrible. This is terrible. That's why we keep covering it for you folks, because we know the stories that you want to see.
Yeah, I feel like ka-chow is going to end up being the rallying cry against the current company at this point. Guys, thank you so much for being here. Consider subscribing to That Park Place for all the news that should be fun.
Thanks for watching That Park Place News. For more information, consider checking out www.thatparkplace.com. And don't forget to subscribe, share, like, and send this out on your favorite social media accounts.